Grand day, my beautiful people. I'm your host, Lorena Jack, first name second, and I want to welcome you to Lorena with Love podcast. Here, I'll share my experience and opinion about life and trauma, military, relationships, platonic and romantic, healing, parenthood, and everything in between. So, today, let's talk about just getting started with things. I mean, it's the perfect topic because it took me a while to get here as far as recording my podcast. And on top of that, I've done it plenty of times. Like I have loads of videos that I created trying to bring out what I wanted in a podcast. It's all been related to the same thing. It's just that for whatever reason, I just felt like no. For real, I felt like no, because it just never seemed to just fit. And when I put it out there, I think a lot of times I kind of got a little intimidated because of the fact that I didn't really have any views. Like people weren't really seeing it. Right. And so I began to get in my head, like we all do. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to lay back off of that. Maybe it's not the right time. Maybe it's not, the right situation. And I fell back, even though the universe kept sending signs about me going and starting. Okay, go ahead and go. You have the green light. Go ahead. This is you. This is what you need to be doing. Right. What actually made me go ahead and get started today, well, get started with this and post this, create this realm of episodes, right? Or a season of episodes that I truly believe is going to take off, was because I had a moment in the shower. All great things happen in the shower. I had a moment in the shower where I was just like thinking, and I, first off, I'm a single mother with twin 5-year olds, right? And at this moment in transition, we're transitioning from places. Um, I like it was overwhelming, and I get extremely stimulated, overstimulated, actually, extremely overstimulated with my girls because they stay on 10 to 100 throughout the day, right? They wake up like that, they go to sleep like that. So when I have little moments to myself, I try to really take advantage of that. And the shower is one of those moments. So, first, I am a strong empath, and all their emotions I feel on top of mine, and then on top of whatever energies that are around me that I've picked up. And in the shower, it allows me to release a lot of it. And a lot of times when I need to release, I have to cry. That is like the best way for me to just let everything out is just crying. Sometimes I can get in the shower, or not even in the shower, right? Sometimes I can just be, and then I just feel overly emotional, and I just feel like I have to cry, and I'll sit there like, why do I need to cry? I'm not sad. I'm not hurt. Why do I need to cry? It's because I've acquired all this emotion, and it needs to get let go. So I was in a shower, and I had to cry. Like I had a moment with Source, and I was just like talking and just trying to understand a lot of things and venting for the most part. And I began to get this download of all the things, because I really, for a moment, I've wondered, what am I supposed to do? I can do all these things, but what am I supposed to be doing in life, right? And for a moment, I had this download, and it took me way back to when I was a kid. And I had forgot what I really wanted to do in life until I had this moment. And I can remember that I wanted to be this entertainer, right? And I wanted to uh, be an actress or actor. And anytime I saw a movie and I connected with it, I would reenact it over and over and over again, right? Until it was like in my head. I remember Superstar. I was in school kissing on making out with trees, just bugging my mom with each scene that I like stood out to me. Color Purple, my whole family on my mother's side, we would recite that over and over again, you know? And there was like a lot of other movies that I will reenact or recite just because it just really, really stuck with me and I loved it. And I loved the ability to become someone else, another character to help motivate somebody else, change someone else's life. I've always wanted to be an actress to say for someone to be like, because of you, you saved my life. Because of you, I'm inspired to be something better. You know, that's just always been something that I wanted since a kid. And through life, it had me forget. I always danced, right? I always danced. And I would, any music video that came out, I would mimic that music video. That's how I learned that's how I taught myself how to dance. Like I grew up dancing, I had dance school and whatnot, but for like the latest moves, I mimicked people. You know what I'm saying? I used to mock people and do things. When Tommy the Clown came out, I would mimic and do a lot of things and copy it, right? As if I was making fun, but in reality, I was learning to dance, learning those moves, and that's what taught me to keep going. You know, that's what taught me to do a lot of things, and singing, and it was a lot of different things. And I even wanted to start a nonprofit, right? And to help youth. I've always been a big advocate of helping youth. When I was in middle school, I wanted to go to school to be a doctor, for to be a pediatrician. And then when I went to college for about 3 years before I joined the military, I my major was psychology. I love the mind, right? And so I wanted to be a psychologist to help kids because I was like, adults mess up kids, so I want to help them. That was just always my thing. And I kind of like drifted away from that in life. I kind of had moments where I was so good at a lot of things that I allowed that to carry me away, as well as the opinions of others deter me from what I truly wanted. Because I can remember me like in the middle of the street having daydreams of me doing music videos and just dancing in the middle of the street and stuff, and just creating all this stuff. And whenever I connected with music or I seen videos, like for instance Chris Brown, oh my goodness, I think like Chris Brown is somebody that is like my spirit person. You know what I mean? Because whenever I see that man perform, I'm just like, I need to be up there with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to be his dancer or something, because I just get taken away and it brings me back. And so that moment in the shower did that. And then on top of that, I started seeing all the people in my life who slowly pulled me away from that, or didn't really encourage me in that. And I started to understand why I never did those things, how I drifted slightly away from it, you know, because I say slightly away because I never really was far from it. It's just that it was never something that I stuck with. And then I have moments where I remember those people who try to encourage me. But for whatever reason, it was never enough. Because if it was, I would already been doing it. So I was like, okay, all right, cool. And the download pretty much gave me this jolt of energy that like thrusted me to like, you know what? No, I need to make this happen, because I got a lot of signs, and I get a lot of signs of the universe telling me to go and do it. Be who you need to be your true self, do what you need to do, right? And I'm like, okay, but for whatever reason, I will get stuck. And I think I got stuck because I wasn't sure what it was until this day. And so I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and do it. If I'm getting the go ahead, it's time. You know, I don't want to sleep on myself anymore. I've been really working on me and giving myself exactly what I needed, because I've been in a life that I've given other people things, you know, and I've given so much of myself to other people. I felt like it was time for me to give myself to me, you know, give me a good chunk of myself. And create the life that I want to live, create the life that I've been dreaming about for years. I used to write. I come from an abusive childhood. And so my escape was writing poetry, writing songs, and I did that a lot. And in middle school, I had one teacher who literally, and it was my English teacher, who literally bought, when Tupac came out with his book, Arose from a Concrete, she bought that book for the class, but it was because of me, to help influence and inspire me to write more, to go deeper, you know? And I remember that. I always remember that. But for whatever reason, I stopped writing. And I've always wondered what stopped me from writing. And from time to time, yeah, sorry about the noise. If you hear noise, my bad. I'm outside recording because, like I said, I had to do it. I had to find a place to do it. My kids are watching the show, so I had to find somewhere where I can actually get on here and connect. So I'm gonna try to clean it up, the noise. But if you do hear noise, it's because of where I'm recording at. Okay. But anyway, back to the show. So I had to, like, I wondered, like, why did I stop writing? But at the same time, like, I've realized that I've always, like, there was always something bringing me back to it, just never keeping me there to stay consistent with it. And that was my thing. Why is it that I have trouble with consistency? What is that block? I always wonder, what is that block? What is that block that I have? And that day in the shower, it just was like a light bulb in my head, like boom. And I'm like, wow, I got to do it. I need to go. So, yeah, I want to ask, is there a moment in your life that you were just so gun ho on an idea, or or a project or a talent that you had that you wanted to do, and out of nowhere or over time it kind of like faded away, and you're kind of like, man, what is that? Or is it a time you wonder where you wondered, like, what am I supposed to be doing in life? What is my goal? What is my purpose? Where am I supposed to be? Because if you've ever wondered that, I really encourage you to just like take a time out and sit with yourself. This is the only way you're going to figure it out. Okay? Truly, there's methods to get you there, right? Like, what is something that you do and you love doing that brings joy to your heart, right? That is what your purpose, that's part of your purpose. But also, your inner child had the key to whatever it was that you wanted to do. And I'm here to encourage you to tap into your inner child. Now, mind you, you might have to do some healing, and I have an episode about healing that we can tap into, to where you're going to have to heal your inner child in order to be able to successfully work with them, because a lot of times we don't realize that we've hurt ourselves so much that that's the reason why it's hard for us to tap into ourselves and figure out what it is that we want to do, or to reach our true selves. It's because we hurt ourselves so much that we got to do some forgiving. But that's another episode. So, yeah. So I was in the shower and I was thinking, like, yo, oh my goodness, this, what? Oh, and I just got excited, and I was just like, it just felt like I had just had a second win. If you're a runner or you're an athlete, you understand what I mean by second win. I was like, oh, let's go. And I got excited. And so I wanted to just get up and do before that enthusiasm faded. Because so many times have I had that enthusiasm where I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do this. Let's go. And after a while, because of whatever excuse that I gave myself, it faded. Oh, I don't have the right equipment, it's not the right time, I don't have the right space. And then I ended up having kids, so then I began to use my kids as the excuse. Oh, well, it's noisy right now out here. But I'm gonna do what it do. I'm gonna make it do what it do, baby. I'm my Jamie Foxx. I'm gonna make it do what it do. And I started allowing myself to fall into those excuses, which was pulling me away, you know? But I think at the same time, I've gotten to the place in my life where I don't care what people say. I don't care about people's opinions of me. And it's really hard for me to understand how that stopped me from doing things when I live my life not really to a point where I really didn't care what people, because I did a lot of things. I did a lot of stuff that was against the grain. I've gotten made fun of growing up, and I've done stuff that people always seem to look at as different or weird. You know, I've gotten the label weirdo. I've gotten the term strange. You know, I've gotten the label conspiracy theorist. Like, I've gotten the label that allowed me to be seen as not like everybody else, right? Not traditional like everybody else. And I still live like that. Though for whatever reason, from this point before, I still had issues, and I've posted things. I've posted things, me dancing, me saying things, and for whatever reason, I don't know why I stopped from that. Maybe because I was expecting it to take off and it didn't, so I felt as though I didn't really have much to say, or that what I had to say wasn't valid. And over time, I was like, wait a minute, no, that's not true. You know, as I grew and as I healed, because I didn't really find out a lot of things until I began my healing journey. And that's when you start to find out the truth, because then that's when you're ready to accept the truth, right? So I was like, wait, that's not right, because I've always done things. And once I learned the truth, I was like, hold on. It doesn't matter. There's always somebody for somebody. There's always an audience for somebody. And I understood that when I was I'm a licensed massage therapist, and I had a teacher that told me that everyone is not for you. Everyone is not your client. And what he meant by that was that there are times when you can massage somebody, right? And you think, oh, I did that. I massaged them. You know what I'm saying? You thinking like you doing the damn thing. And then they finish, their massage, and you get, you know, the reaction of how they like the massage, and it was like, it was okay. Like, their energy is feeling off. Like, they didn't even like it at all. Like, you didn't do nothing. You're like, I am tired. I put my whole body into this, and they're just like, it was okay, because you didn't connect with them. Life is energy. You know, once you learn that life is energy and you understand how energy flows, then you'll realize that not everybody's going to resonate with your energy. And I didn't know that before, until I started healing, until I started learning and growing. And then once I realized that, then I started looking at things a little differently, and realizing that you connect with people when you do, right? And the people that you don't connect with, you don't. And it's okay, because guess what? They'll have somebody in life that they'll connect with, that they'll resonate with. And what I picked up as my phrase is that I plant seeds. I plant seeds. So I can tell somebody something that could be dead on accurate, right? And they won't take it, because it's not for me to teach them. It's not for me to show them, but I can plant a seed where it'll sit in the back of their mind, right? And at the time when they're ready to receive the information, they'll receive that information, or they'll get activated by the person that they're supposed to be taught by. But the information you put in there will begin to grow. It'll be like light bulb. And so they're like, "Oh, I heard that somewhere. Oh, that's what they were talking about." But now, even though they knew or they had what you were saying, it'll be explained by the person that's meant to teach them, right? So by me understanding that, I was able to allow myself to be like, you know what, it's okay. I can post. Whoever gets it, and whoever doesn't. And I've been more opinionated lately on social media. Well, I've taken a break, but when I was on there posting and everything, and then actually commenting, I've been more opinionated, and I see how my comments or how my opinions actually resonated with a lot of people, and then in that I started getting messages like, yes, you have something to say, and I started to believe it to the point where I'm knowing, because I had to sit back for a moment. I did a TikTok about this, about how I know what I'm supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know what I'm supposed to be doing because I lived a life. And a lot of times we get ourselves like flustered because we think that we're not how, woo, source, give me a word, expertise on a lot of things. We're not experts on what we're talking about, right? And that's not true, okay? That's far from the truth. We actually are, because we've lived it. We've gone through the stages. And when we make it out on the other side, that is our testimony. That is proof that we know what the heck we're talking about. You know? So I had to understand that. And by me understanding that, it's like, you know what? Okay, I get it. And then having other people who like will say, "Oh, I needed that," or "Yeah, I was on the same thing," resonating with that, kind of encourage you to say, "You know what? There are people that need this," especially if you're in the place where you just want to help people, because that's where I've always been. I've always been in the place where I just want to help. I just want to help people. And as I grew, I just want to help show people love, because it is important to understand that love is real and it's out there. And it's the most amazing thing ever. And it's not a lot of love, and it's not a lot of people who care out here. I've learned that, right? So, by me understanding that, and by me actually being in the place that I need to be at this moment, it kind of just clicked. It was my eureka moment, and I'm like, okay, I got this. And so here I am getting it. Okay, hey. And I think at the another thing is that I had, I guess I can say I kind of was like at a moment where I wouldn't say I wasn't comfortable with myself, because I really am. I'm just at this moment in my life, I'm learning more about myself that I probably had forgotten, and I'm resonating with it, my true self. But now, because a lot of times I can understand, a lot of times when I was younger, being my true self and being open, I was rejected. Someone was always telling me, no, that's not right, or don't do that, or that's kind of, or overlooking me because I was being my authentic self. And I think because of that, I was kind of like, fine, fuck it, And it wasn't so much of me presenting a false person, it was just me kind of like stepping back, kind of just like, you know what? I'm just gonna stay, keep my light a little dimmed, and just go with the flow of other things. And that was detrimental to my growth. And I understand and I recognize that. So now I'm in a place where I'm just like, you know what, you gonna get this. You gonna get this true self. And I'm not caring. I'm at the place where you can say what you want to say, because nowadays there is a there's so much fakeness on social media. It is so funny. I can watch something and think like, "Oh, all right," and then later on you'll see like, "Nope, this person is going through this and that's not how they really are." Or you go and you learn about all the tricks and trades on how to make a video, and then you learn that that was falsity too. And I don't, is a falsitude a word? I don't think so, but I just created it. Yes. So, and yes, I'm accepting myself. I'm allowing myself to be me. I'm allowing myself to be silly, because I am silly. I am goofy. I love to laugh. I love being happy. I love to love. And so I was like, you know what? Yes, I'm going to put myself out there, because I know there's a lot of people that can either resonate with that, or who can utilize that and help them get better. I've done a lot of things in life where I've been through a lot of pain, and a lot of struggle, not understanding until this moment in my life why was it? And it was for this. It was for me to be able to I was supposed to go through that experience, take my notes, right? Because if we know we're all connected and source runs through us, we are gods, right? Yeah, I might get backlash, but save it for another day or another person, because trust and believe you're going to be at a time in your life where you're going to understand what I'm saying. And if you're not, hold your peace. But we're connected and we're all gods, right? And we are a part of source. Source runs through us, and source experience life through us. You know what I'm saying? Source, for instance, you have source. It is remix. It is experiencing life through me as an indigenous woman, a single parent. You know what I'm saying? With the gifts and talents that I have, that is given me. And it's allowing me to go, if I accept it, and do whatever it is that I want to do. And through that is experiencing it. So I have understood that and allowed myself to go through that and know that, okay, this is something that is going to be beneficial for me and allow me to grow. So I decided, yeah, let's do that. Let's make that happen. Let's go ahead and put that out there. Let's go ahead and just make a better place. Just be to add to what's already out there, creating to a better place, creating to a better environment, a better, universe, to a better way of showing love, because there's a lot of cruelty out there. There's a lot of things coming to light, and there's a lot of people needing to heal, a lot of people needing to be loved on, a lot of people needing hugs. So I was like, you know what, let me go out and put what I've learned out there so that other people can experience it and grow from it. So that's where I have Lorena with Love. And yeah, this episode was definitely needed because I finally just took a stand and took a step out there in a different way, actually in acknowledgement. Instead of believing that I might can do it, I'm acknowledging that I can do it and I am doing it, so it's a different thing. And I feel good about it. Not kind of good. I definitely feel good about it. And so I welcome you on a journey that I have to pretty much share the experiences that I've gone through in my POV, and just be able to connect with people who actually needs the connection, who actually needs the uplifting, who actually needs the resource from what I have to provide. So I thank you for joining me on this episode with Lorena with Love, and I hope to see you on the next one. All right, y'all. Have a good day.